What a false start there, huh? Oh, the old lady. Oh, lady, aye. Oh, blow the man down. Oh, the old lady, aye. I just want to blow the man down. That's not a euphemism. Welcome to the Gaming Galleon. I am Captain Rez, and I will be your guide through adventure, mystery, and envy-inducing deals all hour long. Nice to see you, gang. Well, it's Christmas time, baby. It's Christmas time. That's all I know. It's coming. What do we got? Another 3 weeks or so? Something like that. It's the easy part. Deadlines aren't really on us yet. You know, leisurely hitting a store here or two, maybe catching a Christmas special. I had a friend of mine tell me the other day, I said, when do you want to start seeing Christmas specials? He's like, when it's Christmas. It's Christmas, my friend! All month long! Enjoy it! Enjoy it. Because in 25 days or so, ish, sadly it'll all be gone. But right now, baby, we are in the breadbasket of the Christmas season. I couldn't be happier about it. I got a nice Christmas game for you. We're going to be playing The Grinch. The Grinch. For the Game Boy Color. We got some deals in the back here that only someone with the Christmas spirit would be able to give us. And, of course, all the way in the back here, shockingly, we have some letters in the bag that tells no tales. Where you find folks out there get to say, hello, Captain Raz. Do I have a question for you? And boy, will I be honored to answer it. Christmas has been great so far. I've been, shopping. Got some great ideas for everybody. I'm way ahead of schedule. I want to get the family. Obviously, I can't tell you guys because, you may... what's the term? Snipe stream me? Does that count? Tell them what I'm getting them? I don't want that to happen. I saw the family last weekend. We went to this absolutely charming little event. I don't even know what it's called, but basically it was a theater event. Local community theater event in, rural Illinois. And I mean, does it get more Grover's Corners? Does it get more Lake Wobegon than, rural Illinois? And not crazy rural, like suburban rural, but rural nonetheless. And basically the event was, it was a museum, and in every room of the museum, there were a couple of actors who regaled you. Kind of did a little play, a little short skit of sorts on some classic Christmas stories. There was one room where you heard the story of Virginia. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. You heard about the origin of the Tannenbaum. What else did we hear? This story I'd never heard of before that apparently took place in World War I, where on one faithful Christmas Eve, along the trenches, a German soldier began to wave a white flag in the middle of the war zone. American troops on one side, German troops on another. One German guy crawls out of one of the trenches, and in his hand he's got some wine, he's got some smokes, he's got a little bit of cheese, a little bit of meat. He goes over, waves a flag, baby. Waves a flag. American soldier comes out, and they cease fire for the night. Unannounced ceasefire. While all the big wigs are back home, with their families, these guys are down in the trenches, and all they got is Christmas Eve. They're sick of the war, they're sick of the fighting, and one faithful Christmas day, these German troops and these American troops break bread. Right there in the muddied trenches. Pretty crazy stuff, huh? It actually happened. So it was a nice evening of seeing all these different plays, stories. And the most charming part of it was there was, I think it was every 20 minutes there was a tour. They'd take you through this museum. And I think we were the 6 p.m. tour. So, you get there a little early, and the receiving area is an old gymnasium. And the gymnasium is complete with a stage in the background. You know how all the old high schools, they did double as a gymnasium and a stage. I don't know if they still do design schools like that anymore. But you walk into this thing, and it's it's an older gymnasium. Not even sure it's still a gymnasium anymore. But there's an ornate drywall, and you walk in. And here's Santa on the left. Santa is screaming at the kids. Ho, ho, ho! The kids charge over to Santa. Mom and, the parents are taking pictures. The kids with Santa. Meanwhile, I walk over to this quaint little table that's got, a hot chocolate machine, about 4 or 5 different bottles of booze, lined up, peppermint schnapps, Baileys, the Christmas lineup, and then this just absolutely jaw-dropping, adorable cookie girl who looked like she walked right out of an Ozzie and Harriet episode. She's got the tray, she's giving you cookies. I tried to throw her a line. I said, "So, come to this decade often?" She could not have been more disgusted. Mission accomplished. I got some hot chocolate. Give me a little extra whipped cream on that. Meanwhile, on stage, while all this is going on, you got the full USO setup. You got a couple American flags there, some, just basic folding chairs, some stand-up microphones, and who's in front of the mic? It's the Andrews Sisters. 3 chicks dressed up in, World War II USO gear, singing songs like Bugle Boy from Company B. And who's running the show? A guy in a green sweater, slacks, a Santa hat, and of course, a golf club. The guy's playing Bob Hope. He's doing cheesy jokes in between the songs. It was awesome. So you have a seat, you have a little hot chocolate, let the kids get their pictures taken, enjoy the show. We get called. It's time for us to go on our adventure to see all these different scenes throughout the museum. The girls in the background on stage, they're singing Melikaliki Maka. You guys know that one, right? Melikaliki Maka is the thing to say on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day. We all know that one. So I'm singing it. I'm just singing it under my breath as we're walking out, and I'm walking next to my sister, and we're just getting out the door of this USO thing, and that's when I think, you ever have one of those revelations where your whole, a detail of your life has just, you've read it wrong your entire life, and you finally realize it in the most random moments, and it's like everything resets? That's what happened to me. And I said, oh my God. Oh my God. My sister's like, what? I said, it's Hawaii's way. It's Hawaii's way. She's like, what in God's name are you talking about? I'm like, Melikaliki Maka. Melikaliki Maka is Hawaii's way. And she's like, wait a minute. No, it's Melikaliki. I'm like, no, it's not. We've been living a lie. She looks at her phone. She's like, Jesus, you're right. It's Hawaii's way. I know. I don't have to look at the phone. It makes all logical sense. Mele Kalikimaka is Hawaii's way. All of our lives we've been saying, Mele Kalikimaka is the wise way to say Merry Christmas to you. The wise way? What? The wise way? Did we never think to check this? What's so wise about it? It's Hawaii's way! It's always been Hawaii's way! And it's not that I heard them say it. It's that I happened to be singing with them under my breath and just, it all clicked. It was like I turned, the focus of the telescope just a degree to the left and everything came into focus. It's Hawaii's way. You want to know and I almost didn't tell this part of the story, but you want to know the most ridiculous... This is the kind of family I'm in. And I'm just as ridiculous as the rest of them, but you want to hear how ridiculous this is? We get through the whole tour. I sit down. My parents sit down. We're watching the USO show again. The song comes up, and I look at my mother, and I'm like, you're not going to believe this. And I start to tell her the story. I'm like, you're not going to believe how silly your kids are. A fun anecdote. And I'm getting riled up. We're in the middle of a concert. The girls are singing. Everyone's commiserating. You know how a concert goes. People talk. I get to the point where I'm like, it's the wise way. Like, this is like the moment where I'm thinking she's going to roll her eyes or, enjoy a jovial moment with me. What is her reaction? I'm looking at her straight in the eyes. The Andrews sisters are behind me. They're on stage, maybe like 30, 40 feet away. I'm telling her, animated, but the whole place is, in an uproar, right? Instead of, laughing with me, what does she do? She looks over at my shoulders at the Andrews sisters, and then looks at me and says, and I'm like... I go from feeling like I'm having a good time to all of a sudden my mother has identified me as some sort of autistic child who's gone out of control. I'm like, man, I don't ever want to share anything ever again. I'm like, are you kidding? You worried about them? She's like, they're performing. It's Christmas, right? That's Christmas. So there you go. Can you tell I'm excited? Can you tell I'm fired up about the season? I hope you are too. You don't have to be Catholic or Christian or whatnot to enjoy this time of year. It's all about enjoying your fellow man. Maybe giving a gift or two. Maybe getting a gift or two. Having some good food. And making memories. Making traditions. Alright? That's what we're here for today. Let's play some Grinch. I'm sure I'm way over already. Yeah, we're doing alright. Let's play, let's play some Grinch. Let's do it. This is, why did I pick this game? This is a game, that is made by a company, I'll get into it, we can go. Alright, I'll get into it. It's, The Grinch. Based on the Jim Carrey movie, 2000 movie, 18 years ago. How about that? For the Game Boy Color. Let's do it. Okay. Will you quiet down? They're performing. You're going to throw them off. Alright, here we go. So, wow, adorable graphics, adorable colors. We are the Grinch, and what does the Grinch like to do? Get my drink out of the way here. The Grinch is in it for one reason alone, to ruin the Who's down in Wooville. that's where we're at, by the way. We took the boat out to Wooville. I don't even want to meet these people. They're too sugary sweet for me. Interesting, you know, oh my god. I didn't mean to go up there. Interesting, you know, bit architecture in this town, but aside from that, Wooville, I don't know, maybe we'll get a hot chocolate or something. Not that worried about hanging around this town. Unbelievable. So what do we got here for gameplay? You know, you would think, when I mentioned the Grinch, I'm just gonna reset here. You would think, you know, platformer, 2D platformer, not a lot of personality. No. There's more to it than that. It's actually an interesting combination. I mean, have you seen any game like this? I mean, you know, what comes to mind when you see? You see, you know, it's almost like Pac-Man. But then, you know, you got a little stealth elements here, too. You're trying to get all the presents. There's 70 of them out there. And you got the Who's keeping an eye out for you. If they find you, they're gonna try and hug you. Now, you do have some defense. You can get down on your knees, crawl around. But you can also make some snowballs. Which I just recently figured it out. But still, these guys hang out in really precarious places. Oh my god. Unbelievable. And basically you have 3 lives to find all the presents. And we got 62 of them so far. We're about 10 levels in here. Some snowballs. I don't have any. Oh my god. Oh. Okay. Right. Now let me first say I'm not really a Grinch fan. First of all, I don't really find the cartoon particularly endearing. It's not one I need to watch every year. You know, everybody has their traditions of what they want to watch every year. Mine is like White Christmas, you know, maybe Holiday Inn. The Grinch, a lot of people like it every year. Not me so much. And I certainly never saw the Jim Carrey movie. I certainly have no interest in seeing the CGI movie that they put out. So why the Grinch? Why would I play this? Well, it's a real funny story as to how I even happened upon discovering this game. About a number of years back, I was living in Connecticut, and, you know, looking for video games across the country, it's a different game in wherever you live. In Florida, it's all about the flea markets. In, you know, here in Indianapolis, you got lots of options. There's about there's at least, you know, half a dozen stores that specialize in retro video gaming alone, and that's not, it doesn't take into account, you know, pawn shops or whatever. In Connecticut, it was all about the thrift stores. There were a couple of pawn shops, but there were certainly no retro game stores to be had. So the big place was those big honking thrift stores like Savers, Salvation Army, you know, Goodwill. And I remember, and the fun thing about that is, you know, here in Indy, if you're looking for a common game and you're willing to pay a price, you gotta find it. They're everywhere. They may not be, again, you may be in retail, but they're here. In Connecticut, nothing of the sort. I'm out of snowballs! Oh. Shit, I didn't realize. Look at this, they put us all the way back here. So I was in it, so the interesting thing about that is, you know, in Connecticut, you never had any idea what you were going to come across. And one fateful day, I was at a Savers, which is basically a Goodwill kind of place. and I found in a plastic bag a game called The Mummy for the Game Boy Color. And it's based off of the Brendan Fraser movie, The Mummy. Again, a movie I have no interest in seeing. Never have seen. But here's a game in front of me that I've never heard of for $3 in a little plastic baggie for the Game Boy Color. But the most important part is that I saw that the brand, it was the game was made by Konami. So I'm like, geez, I have no love for this title. Don't know anything about it, but it's Konami, and it's $3. Let's be adventurous. Let's pick it up. Well, let me tell you, if you are into classic Konami, and when I say classic Konami, I mean any game where the characters don't have any faces. Like Simon Belmont has no face. Bill Reiser from Contra, no face. What's going on down there? Then that's what I'm saying when I say classic Konami. That's what I'm talking about. And this Mummy game, a game that was made for Game Boy Color. So what are we talking about? Maybe 5 years. Oh jeez, I'm dead. Go down. Okay, this lady is in the way. Go ahead, sweetheart. Oh, are you kidding me? So when I'm talking classic Konami, I'm talking this Mummy game, believe it or not. It's you play 3 faceless characters. One guy's got a gun, one guy's got some bombs, and there's a third chick who shoots. And it's basically a combination between Castlevania and the Lost Vikings, which is another excellent game made by Blizzard back in the 16-bit era. This is a totally unknown gem of a game made by a totally unknown company. Because, when I buy these games, people say to me, Raz, how do you know everything about all these games? Because when I buy a video game, I look it up. I try to learn as much as I can about it. I don't necessarily get to... Can I make... Oh, I can make some snow. Can I make... No. How am I going to get down here? Okay, I know how I'm going to get down here. There we go. Get the bugle. 15 left. We're almost there. So it turns out that this company is kind of a one-off company. Did some Game Boy Color stuff, just some licensed stuff. Made this Mummy game, and it was amazing. I played it all the way through in October. Having never seen the Mummy movie, to this day I've never seen the Brendan Fraser Mummy movie. But I've played their stupid licensed Game Boy Color game all the way through and loved it. Oh 10 seconds, 8 packages to go. No! No! I gotta get all those 4! Where are the other 2? Last life. So as I'm reading about this Mummy game that I've been loving, start to read some reviews about it. God damn it. It turns out that they also made another license. They said, I think the guy who wrote the article said, well, I'll tell you, last year's The Grinch by this company was great. They're at it again with the Mummy. And I'm like, oh, The Grinch was a good game in the Game Boy Color? Okay. So years later, we actually find it in a lot. And here we are. A very innovative game, wouldn't you say? It's half Pac-Man, half Metal Gear Solid. Music's nothing to write home about. but you're packing up snowballs. You're hiding from the Who's. It's adorable. It's certainly challenging, and every 5 levels, you put the old Grinch on standby, and you play as the dog, Max, and the Max has some moves. The Max has some moves of his own, so it's a cute little Christmas game. But more importantly, and it's a cute little license game, and more importantly, it's a decent game. Plays quite well. And despite the... I mean, maybe we'll just reset the game and I'll play the first level. Because we sure ain't going to play that again. Has anyone seen my hat? What the hell did I do with it? Here it is. Are we getting on time? Oh, okay, we're right on schedule. Alright, we're halfway through the show here. If you're new to the show, halfway through the show, what we call bottom of the hour in the broadcasting business, we like to head over to the old treasure chest here. Inside the treasure chest is what we all love and hope for, and what we all want to see under the Christmas tree: video games. And much like the video games that you'll find under the tree, these in the chest we didn't pay very much for. It's almost as if they were Christmas gifts themselves. So let's check it out, alright? Alright, what do we got here? I'm going to feed that back over here. I like the lights. Over here. There we go, I like the lights. Alright, so we got 3 deals here. Let's start with this guy. We got a good mix of some contemporary retro and some classic retro. Okay? Our first deal here, just very, very cheap games. I'm a little confused as to how we got this price. So I feel like we probably should have paid more. But lo and behold, here it is. The price here was okay, yeah, after tax, $4.25. Okay, I think a little bit of this was just thrown in. All right, so let's take a look at what's in the bag. We got everything in this bag for $4. All right, $4. Got some PS3 games here, PS2 games here. Spider-Man Friend and Foe. We get this one now and again. I haven't played this yet. I hear it's an action RPG, 2-player action RPG. I guess if you're a Spider, this is the perfect game for right now that not to date the show, but that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is out very soon, and it's about a ragtag group of Spider-Men. So this is kind of like that. You don't get to play more than one Spider-Man in this. You're playing the classic villains like, Iron Fist isn't a villain, but he's in here, and Black Widow, but I know you play Venom and Doc Ock and Rhino and Green Goblin. You can team up with all those guys. So, who made it? Activision. The Simpsons game, never played it, but I have a feeling this is pretty good. I hear it's a very good parody, and I'd really like to see what they did with the MMO part. I'm pretty sure there's like a fantasy part, like a Renaissance Fair kind of part. I wouldn't mind checking that out sometime. And then finally, a game I know we didn't have. And again, it's an action RPG. 2-player. It's Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Bots. Why does this excite me? Well, THQ was doing some pretty good work back in the PS2 games days. They made Barnyard and Cars. This has some... I feel like this has potential because I'm just a sucker for anything that's crossover. And here we got, you got SpongeBob, you got Danny Phantom there, you got Tack, I believe, and Jimmy Neutron. and I think they're all playable. And then that pinky guy, Patrick. It's Patrick, yeah. So I don't know. It just looks like a basic beat 'em up action RPG kind of beat 'em up with a friend, and we didn't have it. So, and you're fighting bots. You're fighting toys, I guess. Might be a good Christmas game, huh? Who knows? All right. In addition to these, there were a couple of DS games. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I don't know why I'm opening this. Does anyone really care? Maybe just to make sure I have it. Yeah, it's in there. Okay. And then another THQ game, Up. You could tell just retailing these used their $4, so this one was $8. Somebody bought it for $8 at some point. We obviously didn't pay those prices. And then the exciting part of the bunch, on the wall with a bunch of PS3 games we see 10 million times. We see these 10 million times, but I really like that we found them together. It's the Call of Duty Black Ops collection for PlayStation 3. We've got Black Ops 1 and 2 in the same case, combo pack, and then Black Ops 3, which I hear is the dark sheep of the trilogy. But I played a lot of Black Ops 2 and the original Black Ops. Man, did they load you down with content for that one. So, not bad. There's... Yes, Blops collection, yes. Blopping it up. Not a bad deal, and, to find it in this condition with the sleeve, this is worth way more than, the $1 they were asking for on the shelf. So... we got the 4 games here and the 2 DS games. We got all that for $4. I think that's a pretty sweet deal. Might actually play that Simpsons game. Not too bad. All right. Let's do a little retro here for you. Not the best price here. Not really a deal, but these are games you're not going to see every day. And when it comes to Atari, sometimes I'm just not sure what we have and what we don't have. And Atari games are so inexpensive that I'm usually willing to go a little bit over in price to get everything that I think is at least of interest, even if we may have doubles or maybe even triples. But there's a great side story to this. We got these from a game store, and I'm in line waiting for my turn. They've got all the Atari games behind glass. There's a whole wall of Atari games in there that are nothing but commons. However, there's a second row behind that row, and I just happened to see one hard-to-find game. Almost like I'm behind here. I'm behind this wall of crap. Can you see me? And I said, yeah, buddy, I can see you. Okay, all right, I can see you. Do you have friends? And he's like, I may have friends. And I'm like, okay. All right, well, I'll go check you out. So I go to the clerk, and I'm waiting my turn, and I get a guy, and I'm like, hey, buddy, I want to take a look at some Atari games. And as I'm waiting, I notice another gentleman has posted up at the exact same place where the Atari games are kept. It's, again, in a glass cabinet, and the clerk is about 20 yards that way. All the clerks are milling around in this kind of pit, where they're taking sales. So this guy is waiting to be served. So he's sitting there, and it's like the typical guy who's just taken all this way too seriously. He's, the typical well-kept beard, long, scraggly beard, but still well-kept. The baseball cap, the Michelin Man-like puffy jacket, black puffy jacket, and of course, the crown jewel, what ties it all together, the sullen look on his face. Like, this is serious business. I can't possibly wait for someone with a smile. I'm going to sit here in this video game store and wait for my turn. So I don't know if this guy's going for my Atari games or not, but he's there. So I say to the clerk, hey, can we get some Atari games? We make our way over to this guy, and my clerk's about to dig his hand in the cabinet, but this guy's standing right there. He's like, sir, can I help you? The guy's like, yeah, I was just wanting to get some pop vinyl dolls. You guys into pop vinyl dolls? The whole Funko thing? The little bobbleheads? This guy is. And if you know anything about people who collect these, this is the kind of thing where it's little dolls that are kept in their packaging. The packaging could not be more fragile, but also could not be more valuable. You're talking these things are cased in thin cardboard and see-through plastic. Oh, well, I guess it's like one of these. You know what I'm talking about. One of these guys. The Pops, except it's a doll in there. It's not a video game. So the case is that the box itself is very important if you're collecting these. That has a lot to do with the value. Well, on the wall, maybe 5 feet to my left, is an entire wall of these things up to the ceiling. And this is what this guy's going for. He wants some Pops. So the clerk says, oh, a couple of Pops? No problem. Which ones are you looking for? And that's when he says, hey, Bill, can you give me a hand over here to one of the other guys running around, one of the other tellers? And he's and this guy is like, yeah, well, I first really would like that black chrome Batman. And the black chrome Batman is all the way up at the top of the ceiling. And of course, it's precarious, and these things are all about condition. You don't want them being jostled, you don't want them being dropped, you don't want them being crushed. So what does jackass Cap'n Raz do? Instead of minding my own business, I don't know why I had to tease this guy. Can I just let the guy live and get my Atari games? No, I got to get involved. The guy says, yeah, the black chrome. I'm like, oh, black chrome Batman, it looks good. And I look at the rest of the store. It's busy. There's people all over the place. I don't think this was Black Friday, but it was maybe the weekend of. No, I don't know. It was busy. Anyway, I look back around. This guy's like, yeah, the one all the way at the top there. The clerk looks up. He can't reach it. And I said, hey, anybody around here got a basketball or something? You can just knock this thing down? And that's when the clerk's like, it almost as if this is a challenge. He fails to wait for Bill and tries to just Michael Jordan his way up, grab the thing, and a bunch of Pops come down with Batman. So, I don't think he ruined anything, but I can only imagine. You should have seen the look in the guy's face when I started asking if anybody had a ball or something to knock this thing down with. Anyway, let's take a look at the Atari games. These were $1.50 each. If you buy 5, you get 1 free. Desert Falcon. Gravatar. Gravatar always seems like it's a rare game, but it's just not. I don't know why I think it is. Off the Wall is the one that got my attention. Off the Wall is like an offbeat karate take on Breakout, and it is hard to find. Worth way more than $1.50. Oh, Secret Quest! The Legend of Zelda of Atari games. You can even continue. There's even a password system. Very challenging, very fun game, and worth way more than $1.50. Junior Pac-Man. I've been looking for this game for years. For years, I find 2 damn copies in a month. I don't know. It's so weird that game. Sometimes game hunting works like that. It works in waves. Porky's. Porky's. I have a signed copy of Porky's. No big deal. Signed by the developer. No big deal. Probably picking this up for a friend. He's wanted one for a while. Porky's. 20th Century Fox. You ever see that movie? Megaforce. Decent shooter. We have a copy. Double Dunk. Another one we didn't have. Is that exciting? Not really. But it's a later sports game. A later game in the series. So I was like, alright, we'll grab it. Xenophobe. Another hard to find 2600 game. For $1.50. Not an easy one to find. Somewhere Ogre is screaming. Somewhere Ogre is screaming. Radar Lock. Another one we didn't have. Basically the Top Gun of Atari 2600 games. I mean, there's a lot of flight sims in the 2600. This one's decent. This one's... I almost said decent. This is a great co-op game. Why? Because you need 2 damn controllers to play it. You actually need a second controller. You need that second button on the second controller to fire missiles. So I think it would be neat to have a gunner, a pilot and a gunner, and the pilot's like, fire! You know, and then you guys are coordinating. I bet that would make this a lot more fun than what it is in reality when you're playing one player, which is just an encumbered mess. Fast food. We gotta get that sticker off there. Fast food is great. It's not a game you're gonna see these days, that's for sure. It's about a mouth, a disembodied mouth that is basically eating food. It has to make sure it doesn't eat the rotting meat. I think there's like purple hot dogs or something. If you eat the purple hot dogs, that's bad. You eat too many of the game's over. But the reward is if you can pass a level, the game itself actually announces you are getting fatter. In big bold letters, you're getting fatter. How many games are bold enough to tell you that these days? Hadn't picked that one up. Very common, but... And then finally, another very hard to find game. Very hard to find game for the 2600. BMX Airmaster. The TNT version. Even the TNT version is somewhat hard to find. If you can find the Atari 2600 one, the one that says Atari 2600, and actually has a red label like this. Oh boy. That's money. That's money. But even so, just this one is a little hard to find. So there you go. We had 1, 2, 3. We had 12 games there. We bought 12 because we were basically caught up in the buy 5 get 1 free thing. So we bought some games we really don't need. That's $1.50 each. That came out to about $15. Eesh. Pretty expensive. I mean, we're actually looking at the end of the day. Is that really true? Yeah, they get you with that $1.50. We bought 12 Atari games for $15. 16, I think, after tax. They might have gotten us on that one, but we didn't have Radar Lock. We didn't have Xenophobe. We didn't have Double Dunk. Some of these, I mean, if we were really hurting, we could sell off the wall, and maybe one of these other ones, BMX Airmaster, sell those two, we get the money back. But whatever. Okay, last deal. How we doing on time? We're way over today. Oh, we got 14 minutes left in the show. Jeez, let's do this quick. Walk into a place. Well, I try to walk into a place. The place is locked. But they're in business. Sign on the wall. I sit there. This one employee lady, she's not letting me in, but I know the manager. And I know the manager loves me, and I know she'd love to see me. So what do? I call. I look on the internet. Here's the number. I'm calling you. The employee looks at the phone, looks at the manager. That's when the manager looks at the door, sees me, has a big grin on her face, comes to the door, says, sorry, we got robbed. I'm really paranoid right now. They're not giving us enough security around here. I'm only letting regulars in. I gotta recognize you at the door. She lets me in. Little tete-a-tete. Take a look at some games. See some decent stuff in the cabinet. Pull it on over to the clerk station. She takes a look at them. Sees what we got. Let's take a look here together. For the PSP Tomb Raider anniversary. Splinter Cell Essentials. Both of these are complete. Nice shape. The Hunted, the Demon Forge, a co-op game I really want to play one day. 2-player split-screen co-op. I want to get a chick. Play that all the way through with her. Diablo 3 includes the Infernal Helm. PS3 in-game item with EXP bonus. Okay, great. Diablo 3, an action RPG I'm really not fond of. Street Fighter 4 Vanilla. Vikings. Battle for Asgard. This always looked alright. Darksiders 2. Metal Gear Rising. And finally, Batman Arkham Asylum. All of these games we have. The PSP games we don't have. But all of these we do have. After a little chat, a little how are you? I'm fine. How was Thanksgiving? Getting ready for Christmas. What does she do? She gives it to all of us for a Christmas song. $0.0. Merry Christmas. Alright, let's get back to the Grinch. Let's do it. Where's here we go. Let's go embarrass ourselves in the Grinch one more time. Oh boy. You'll notice that he's so unhappy in this picture. They're like, oh, it's the Grinch, we love you. He's like, all I want to do is ruin your Christmas, kid. Mission failed. She will be having a happy Christmas. No thanks to you. Alright, we'll play the first level real quick. Give you an idea. You know, you got some cutscenes here, decently made. You know, all the Who's love Christmas. Let's get through that. Alright, let's see if we get 30 gifts. No problem, right? It's first level, so obviously this is a lot. Let me give you some audio here. There you go. You know, we're picking up gifts. Easy stuff. Let's be a jerk and hit her with a snowball just for fun. I don't know what the candy canes are for. They drop candy sometimes. Alright, let's do one more time. Let's do one more. Scene 2. Okay. 30 gifts out there. Let's make some snowballs. Oh! Oh! Sorry, kid. Not today. More like, who's your daddyville? Oh my god. Boom! Ha! I gotta tell you, it's pretty satisfying hitting little kids in the back of the head with a snowball. Alright, we're out of here. Thank you. Yeah, mission completed. Alright, we're out of here. That's silliness. Okay. And transition. Yeah, it's a fun little game. $5 game. Game Boy Color. Many different ways to play the Game Boy Color these days. We're playing on the old Retron 5 here. Pair it up with your old Game Boy. As long as you got a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance. Game Boy Advance SP, probably the way to go. That's how I've been playing it, you know, on the road, you know, at work. I'm playing it on one of these to get us to where we needed to be to get a voyage together. Fun little game. And you know what? I gotta be honest. I'm gonna pull it out right now. And I'm gonna plug it right back in here. I've got my password on my phone to get back to stage 3-1. And I think I'm gonna play it through. I think it's gonna be a fun little Christmas game, just like The Mummy, by the same company for the Game Boy Color, was a great Halloween game. So don't discount some of these. Guess the trick is, again, very much don't judge a book by its cover. Even if you don't like the license, I'm not fond of the Grinch at all, but I find this game very approachable, endearing, and quite Christmassy. So I'm going to keep at it. All right, let's get see what you guys got for me. The old bag that tells no tales back here. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time and writing this old sea dog a letter. Let's see what we got here for you. And I don't usually stack the deck, but there's one in here that I really want to read, and I seem to be missing it. Oh well, whatever. We'll come back to it. There's always another voyage, right? I've got it. This doesn't seem to be in there. All right. Ahoy, Cap'n Rez! In Mario 3, Wario Land, for the Game Boy Color. Hey, how about that? Or is it Game Boy Advance? I think that's on Game Boy Color. There is a pirate ship called the SS Teacup. How about that? I haven't played this game, if you don't know. Do you know if this vessel has been equipped with its own navigator type system? How about Captain Syrup's later ship, the Sweet Stuff? I don't. Sincerely, the J Nerd. Thank you, Jay. Thank you for the question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if those are equipped with the navigators. I think that our little navigator is just a little piece of magic out there. Just it's a bit of a mutant, like anyone who sails on this ship. It's a little out of the ordinary. It's a little special. So I mean, has Captain Syrup shown up at anyone's door yet, or has he been stuck in the Game Boy Color, Mario 3, all this time? I can't say for sure. I'm hoping not. Because, if we cancel this show, I'm putting this navigator on eBay. I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, we're going to have to wrap it up there. I think so. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. It was a fun little voyage. I want you guys to take it easy this month. A lot of us may have some deadlines when it comes to maybe buying the right gift, wrapping them, showing up at some places, maybe some long drives, maybe dealing with a family member or two that, they rub you the wrong way. But hey, you got to put all that stuff aside and think about what a magical time of year this is. What a magical world we're in, where, people can come together and put aside all their problems and really look at things positively. That stuff doesn't happen in Fallout 76, It's nothing but, rad rats. Who plays these Fallout games? It's so depressing. You're watching people eat big rats and they're just so depressing. I couldn't play them. I played Fallout 3. I think I'm retired after Fallout 3. I think that's enough. Anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. I'm not sure where. And I'm not sure when. One thing I am for sure, though, wherever we end up, we're going to be there together. So until next time, well and adieu to ye fair Spanish maidens. Farewell and adieu, ye maidens, ye ladies of Spain, for we received orders for to sing the white. For to sing the. I'm gonna start over. Can I start over? Can I get off camera? Can I start over? Jesus, I've never re-racked the song before, but I'm doing it today. All right, so until next time. Farewell and adieu to ye fair Spanish maidens. Farewell and adieu, ye ladies of Spain, for we received orders for to ruin Christmas in Wooville. And lo, nevermore shall we see ye again. Maliki Maka is Hawaii's way to say Merry Christmas to you. Keep your powder dry, mateys.